Welcome back to Retirement News Online. So annuities can play a powerful role in retirement planning by providing income predictability, reducing market risk, and helping retirees address longevity concerns. When used correctly and in the right proportion, they can complement traditional investments and create a more resilient retirement income strategy. Joining me here to talk about this is Don Kimbrough in West Bloomfield, Michigan. You're a minister. What's the name of the church again?
Straight Gate International Church.
All right, and a financial advisor, so you do a lot of work in the community, and then you also help people with their financial stuff. So let's talk about how do you determine whether an annuity is a good strategy or a tool for someone, because I mean there's a lot of different kinds of annuities and things like that, and I'm sure people have heard they see some bad things online about them, but they are particularly useful sometimes.
Oh, they're very, very useful. Of course, it's an individual contract between the insurance company, and the individual, of course. What I look at is their investment tolerance. They determine what investment vehicle that best suits them. Thus you have, some individuals that are very conservative, and then you have the moderate, and then you have the person that's more aggressive. But what the annuity does, what it enables them to do is to broaden their portfolio of investments. You have your pension, you may have 401k and stocks and things of that nature. And what the annuity does is give them another investment vehicle to fit into what they're already doing. One of the things that we tell people, don't put all of your eggs in one basket. Sometimes it's good to diversify, and using the annuity is a good way to diversify and also have some protection there. Because one of the concerns is long term, okay? People are concerned about whether or not they have enough money to take them throughout retirement. And so one of the annuity plans that I would like to talk about, and we had talked a little bit about it before, was called the index annuity. And how does that fit in their portfolio of investments? An index annuity is an annuity that bases return either fixed or index. Now the index, most people have heard about the S&P 500.
Sure.
Every news that come out is always talking about the S&P 500. But let's use an example. Let's say, for instance, a person invests in the S&P 500 and they earn 10%. So if they had 100,000, they earn 10%. Now they have 110,000. If it's in the index annuity and the market goes down the next year 6%, that means there's a 6% loss if you have a mutual fund or a stop option.
Right.
But with the index annuity, the 110,000 is still there, which means you can't lose your principal, you can't lose your interest that you've earned. Also, some of the great things about an index annuity, you can include riders on it, such as long-term care. Unfortunately, a lot of people don't have long-term care insurance. And if they have a long-term care situation where they're committed to a nursing home, that can be very costly. But if they have that rider attached to that index annuity, it'll help pay for those expenses. In addition to that, also enhanced death benefits. So it's flexible and allows you to kind of tailor it according to what your financial needs are.
I think a lot of people watching this are probably asking themselves, this sounds too good to be true. But this isn't, again, an investment in the strictest sense. This is something that you do with an insurance company, and we're kind of insuring your retirement in some ways.
Exactly.
And so let's talk about the trade-offs. I mean, there's guarantees here, there's potential liquidity and growth and things like that. Again, what are the top considerations? When is this not a right situation for someone?
Well, I think that the trade-off, and it goes back to the investors, what is their mindset in terms of investing? If they are an individual that's more of a conservative investment, now if you use a guaranteed investment, normally the fees and the return is a little bit, there's a trade-off there.
Right.
For the individual that's more of an aggressive investor, of course, they're going to go headlong into the stock market. So it really has to do with the individual that you're sitting across from and what their perspective is. And so it's what I do is when I sit down with a client, you know, I try to get to know that client. It's important that I know the person that I'm sitting across from, because at that point, that's the most important person in the room, is that investor. So we just don't throw products at them. We find out what their investment tolerance is, you know, what their goals, what their objectives are, and then we try to design an annuity to fit that. And doing it that way, we've had great success. People know, you know, when you're really concerned about them. And as far as, you know, the bad press that some annuities have gotten, unfortunately, in this industry, you also have agents that are not professional. And what they do, they try to speak bad about a product in order to make their product look good. And it should never be that way. Annuities have a place, the stock market have a place, all investment has a place. It just needs to be fitted properly with the client that you're talking with.
And this solves an enormous amount of problems, and we've always talked about sequence of returns risk, which is the last part, which is, you know, timing in the market, you know, taking income when the market's going down, starting your retirement if the market is retreating, and that can be a bad thing for people. But this kind of does solve that problem. It sort of takes timing out of the market, doesn't it?
Yes. Yes, absolutely. You know, you only have so much time. My investment philosophy is, it's called time and money. Mm-hmm. Okay, $1 today is worth more tomorrow because of the potential to earn interest. And what I encourage people to do, especially young people, get started as early as you possibly can. It's very easy to become a millionaire in the United States of America if you simply start early. Yeah. And so we encourage people to do that. And of course, the younger you are, you can afford to be more aggressive.
Sure.
And then times we have people who are late starters, they're in their 40s and 50s. And with those individuals, they're a little bit more cautious in
Sure.
terms of, you know, what they put their monies into, because they don't have as much time left.
Right.
And so we take each investor serious, regardless of whether you're just getting out of college, or if you're somebody that's 50 or 60 years old, we're going to help you any way that we can.
You're a good man, Don. Thank you so much. That's Don Kimbrough in West Bloomfield, Michigan. You're watching Retirement News Online. Find out more at retirementnewsonline.com. Thanks for watching.